In the month of March, we do midweek episodes. That's how this goes. Today is Wednesday, March 11th. I'm going to post this as soon as I can get it edited and ready to go. I promise, and processed. March 11th, Wednesday, conference tournaments are happening. Again, they're happening all the time. We got a lot of stuff to get through real fast. We're going to talk through mid-major champions that we have not talked about since Sunday night.
Yep.
That have won their conferences that will be in the tournament. We'll talk about a couple multi-bid leagues. The Syracuse job opening up along with a lot of other jobs. Shout out Red Autry, or maybe no shout out Red Autry. We'll have our good friend Christian Odjakjian is going to come on. The first ever recurring guest, by the way.
Wow, that's a big deal for Christian.
Yeah. He takes it not lightly. He likes it. He understands it. He appreciates it. And we will talk through with Christian. I'm going to talk with him a lot about the dark horse teams to watch out that can go to a Final Four, his favorite mid-major teams, and we will talk about Duke and Caleb Foster's injury news as well. We do have a new jersey in the studio, by the way. Shout out to Josh Shirts and the Lou. They sent the Lou one, and Josh printed out the picture of us, sent a nice. And he wrote a nice handwritten note on it. He's very appreciative of the show. He's a listener, by the way.
Listener.
Hashtag my guy.
Hashtag your guy. I know that he's listening. He looks real short in that picture.
Whoa, relax, dude.
I'm just saying.
That's whatever. Relax.
I like the jersey.
Shout out to Lou.
I was in St. Louis for baseball earlier this year, and the Cardinals have a lot of the Lou stuff also. So
I didn't know that.
Seems like something that they like to do there.
Probably their nicest jersey.
Yeah,
it looks unbelievable.
It's really sick.
Really cool jersey. Shout out to St. Louis. Shout out to the Billikens. They will be hopefully dancing unless things go haywire.
They'll be dancing.
They'll be dancing. 8-10 tournament this week. Good luck to the Billikens, everybody else. Let's go right into Christian, and then we'll be back. Christian, you are the first official ever recurring guest on the Blue Blooded podcast. How do you feel about that?
That is quite an honor, and I'm so happy to be here, Ryan. Happy March 11th.
Happy March 11th indeed. I think I'm 99.9% sure you're the only person that's been on here twice other than myself and Adam, I guess. I don't think anyone else has done twice yet so far, so you are the first. Congratulations. Christian Odjakjian, everybody. Welcome in. All right, let's get right into it. We got no time to waste today. This is a midweek episode, so it's a special episode. Let's talk about big news out of Duke right now. They have a couple injuries lingering with them, and we will get into some fun bracket projection stuff and mid-major stuff afterwards. But Duke right now is going to be without Pat Ngogba for the ACC tournament. He has a foot injury, and also Caleb Foster is essentially out for the year with a foot injury also. They said he's out indefinitely. Maybe if they get to the Final Four, he gets to come back. But no Caleb Foster, probably for the rest of the year. Pat Ngogba out for the ACC tournament, and hopefully not after that. Where is your worry on Duke right now? Why are you worried if you are? And talk to me about that.
So I don't want to get too worried before I see what it looks like with Caden Boozer in a scaled up role. But my instant reaction is that is a big downgrade. Caleb is just a vet. He settles the team. He's a better defender. And he's kind of had one of those like chill out boys threes every game, which Caden hasn't really had in him. He had a big one against Carolina, but Caden's only hit 4 threes since mid-January. I think something really key about Caden is just how much he's played with his brother. I think that can't be understated, their feel for where they are, just knowing where to get Cam the ball, just Cam's trust of him. I think those things are really important, and I want to give Caden a chance to show me that he can step up. But I've noticed sometimes when he's come off the bench in certain games, sometimes he's very aggressive, whether it's pushing in transition or trying to get to the basket. And sometimes I'm like, I don't think this team needs that, but he has to play a bigger role now. And it just more is on Cam's plate, but because of how damn good Cam is, like we might be seeing even bigger numbers than we've seen out of him before. He's going to get a double. He's going to get doubled by everyone basically, right? And when he gets doubled, he makes the right play, and the coaching staff puts everyone in positions to make plays off of that. And then Dame Sarr playing better. He's shooting it better. Isaiah Evans, obviously. So no reason to overreact. Duke's still the best team in the ACC in a well-deserving 1 seed with an elite defense. But I have my concerns about Caden in a scaled-up role. And when he's off the court, who's your point guard? You don't even have a point guard.
Right. You have no backup at this point. Isaiah Evans, or you play Cam a little bit more on the perimeter. You run through kind of high post situations with him. And I trust Shire I trust Sean Shire more than maybe any coach to adjust schematically, and they're going to be fine X's and O's wise, and they will beat inferior teams pretty easily. I think still won't look different. But my worry is that when they get to Elite Eight, Final Four, National Championship, 3 games in a row, which is their goal. Like they're the best team in the country. They're the favorite to win the ACC and the NCAA tournament. Still, like that is their goal, and anything less is a disappointment to them. I think they would admit that. Let's assume Pat is going to be back for the NCAA tournament. It seems like they're just like that he has a little injury. They know they can win this without him, and then they can kind of go to the NCAA tournament and make sure they have him fully healthy to go. I agree with you on the fact that like Cam is going to get doubled and tripled even more than ever, but they know that they're not stupid. And when he gets the ball on the post, like he's so good at actioning out of those so quickly, where it looks like he's going to settle into a post, and then he dribbles out and because he's so light on his feet, you watch him. He just like someone who talked about it. He runs like a gazelle. He's always on his tippy toes, and he moves so well for how big and strong he actually is, and the production he kind of puts up. My worry, obviously, the guard play. Like Duke's biggest concern before this Caleb Foster injury was guard play and was turnover rate in their couple of losses. And at times they're not the greatest team at taking care of the ball. And now you take away your vet, like you said, the vet leader of this team who has a 2.7 assist to turnover ratio. He's one of the best guards in the country at not turning the ball over because he's so smart. He also shoots 40% from 3 over 3 attempts a game. In their 2 losses, they've gone from a 44 to a 40% three-point attempt rate. They shoot less because they're not shooting. Sometimes they don't shoot the ball in as hot streaks, I'd say. So you take away another shooter on the team, obviously. In their 2 losses versus Carolina and Texas Tech also, they went from a 13.8 to a 15.1% turnover percentage. And it sounds small, but it is a massive difference for a team that was already average, barely above average at taking care of the ball. Now they dip below average in that. And so those things definitely worry me. I don't know. Like Caden, is there an extra gear that Caden Boozer can kick up into? Because he's great at taking care of the ball also. But like you said, who else is going to be on the ball with him a lot? Is Cam going to be more of a point forward and face up on the perimeter more? Or are you going to try to put Isaiah Evans on the ball more and change his role, which I don't think you should do, but you might have no choice? Like, where do they go from here? And Caden it's Caden Boozer time for sure. Maybe he has a second gear that he's going to kick it into, but he hasn't shot the ball well at all, like you said. He is really poorly shooting the ball this year. So I worry for sure that on their kickouts, on their offensive rebounds, which they're so good at, and their second chances, that they're not going to have this easy shooting and easy playmaking like they've had with Caleb Foster. So listen, I'm not going to sit here and say if Duke was my national champion pick yesterday or a week ago, they're definitely not right now. But like a week ago before the Caleb Foster injury, I was pretty convincingly going to pick Duke, and now I'm just thinking about other teams. And now I'm like, okay, I don't know where I'm going to go at this point when the bracket comes out because Odjakjian is injured for Michigan. He's done for the year. That concerns me a lot. Arizona, there's ounces of it that I still don't trust, but they have the best guard play of the 4 top-tier contenders. And Florida wasn't good out of conference. They call it what it is. They've looked like the best team ever right now in conference play, but I'm all over the place with these 4 contenders. I have no idea where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think you and I are aligned that we trust Shire and the staff to play their cards right and make the product on floor as best as possible with what's available. But with Nick Amania and Darren Harris being your only 2 guys off the bench right now, it's like
maybe it's Darren Harris time.
I mean, maybe, man, but I swear there's every year Duke has one dude whose job is to come in and shoot threes and play 8 minutes a game, and they're never good at it, whether it was Joey Baker or I'm trying to think who it was before him. Whoever is in that role, there's too much pressure on you because you're literally just there to hit 2 threes, and I feel like those guys don't do that. I don't see him scaling up, and Jimenez had his moments. Like, he was good against Michigan. I thought he gave really good minutes. That game just stood out. But, man, I think it's a stronger commitment than ever to playing defensively. I'm not worried about a drop off, maybe a tiny fraction, but they're the number 1 defense in the country.
They'll be fine. Yeah.
But offensively, it's like, to your point of Isaiah Evans playing on the ball. No, that messes everything up. His shooting gravity, of course, sometimes he'll run like a little pick and roll with Cam or whatever, but and like create for himself off the bounce or just give it to Cam. But like, Caden's game is different from Caleb. That's why it was a cool dimension. He came in and he would push the ball and be aggressive in transition or look for his own shot maybe in the half court when Caleb's not being able to do that. And it's like now can you kind of box him into the Caleb role of just kind of functioning and just letting, Malik pass, let Cam pass, let Sar and Isaiah space it? Or do you kind of cater to Caden? I don't really know if Caden's good enough that you want to be adjusting stuff to adjust to his strengths. So that is the puzzle piece for Duke to figure out. But to your point about the top number 1 seeds, I'm not overreacting or panicking about Duke. But if I was kind of like this about Arizona and Michigan, I've got Duke 3rd or 4th right now, just because it's hard when you lose a guy.
Yeah, it would be interesting. They say, if we get to the Final Four, he can come back. That would be very, very interesting. If they think that that's maybe a possibility, he's probably done for the year. It's a serious foot fracture. I don't know if he had surgery or not. I forget the situation, but I don't know. I think you said it before. I'm gonna be watching Duke like a damn hawk this week. I'm gonna be watching Caden Boozer. They can lose the AC tournament, and I can be more confident in them in the NCAA tournament. I'm not like they're gonna win games. I would like them to win the AC tournament if I want them to win the NCAA tournament. But I'm not watching for them to beat every team by 30 like they've been doing. I'm just watching Caden Boozer. I'm watching their offensive sets. I'm watching what changes. I'm watching with a very close eye this week because I have slight worry. For them, at least. It's natural. Like, this is a major injury to a major player, to a team that was already thin at the guard spot. So I don't know. We'll see how this looks this week. It'll be
real quick. Another storyline just in this AC tournament is the 2 teams that I think have the best shot at Duke are Clemson and Miami. And the reason why is they have the front court bodies to at least somewhat keep Cam from going crazy and to make the other guys beat him. Duke won easily when they played Clemson at home. They won by 13, but they were up like 18-20 for most of the second half. But Cam shot 5 of 10 from 2, finished with 18 points and only 4 assists. That's like a bad game for Cam Boozer, So and we haven't seen him play Miami. And with Renault and Uday and Jay Lucas knowing Duke's secrets, that I don't know if Miami gets there because they gotta beat Louisville, SMU, Virginia, and then that. So, but those are 2 teams that I think I wouldn't be surprised if they beat this iteration of Duke.
Yeah, Miami is definitely the interesting one, especially with even stylistically, everything aside. Jay Lucas is a Duke guy. He knows them better than anybody in the country. And they're the only top half team in the conference that Duke hasn't played this year. Thank you to the ACC scheduling bullshit. But that's crazy that everyone should play everyone. It's that simple. And then you go to the second games. Like it's so stupid. But I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some mid-major stuff real fast. There have been a lot of teams punching their tickets this week. We talked about a lot of teams last week on the show, like UNI and they're out of the MVC, excuse you and I out of the MVC, High Point, etc. LIU, go Sharks, obviously, that clinched their bids last week. But you have teams this week, obviously. We saw Hofstra last night, who's got a lot of juice. Troy, who I know you love, and a bunch of other teams. What one mid-major have you already fallen in love with and you think has the best potential to take down Goliath in the first round in the NCAA tournament?
You said it. It's Troy. I was all over them last year. Lost by 19 to Kentucky. And what's crazy is the Rigsby brothers transferred. Jackson Fields went to West Virginia. Tate Connerway goes to Indiana. So what does Troy do? Do they go steal from the little conferences below them? No, Scott Cross said, I like my culture. I like my guys. We're just going to keep the guys we have, and everyone's just going to slide up. My 7, 8, 9, 10 are going to be my starters now. So the Campbell brothers, Victor Valdez, Jarrell Bellamy, Thomas Dowd, all of these guys are leveling up. Theo Sang, their stretch big, has missed the last few games. He's been questionable every time, so It's unclear, but would love to have him having that extra front court body, even though Bellamy's done a really nice job filling in for them. It's huge, but I just love the culture and the way Scott talks about this team, like the fact they've all been there before, the player retention. And then in terms of the actual on-court product, they turn the ball over too much and they don't shoot the 3-ball well, but they get to the rim. They play really hard. They're good on the glass. And my boy Valdez, the Mexican Luka, he's a 6'7" point guard with great footwork, finesse around the basket, a fantastic passer, second in the league in assist rate. And he's a guy who when Troy played against tough competition, at San Diego State, won in double overtime, at USC, lose on a triple overtime buzzer beater. They played, Scott Cross said they played Mississippi State and Georgia in scrimmages, and they played them really tough. They beat an Akron team that, we're going to see maybe that's an NCAA tournament team as well. And these guys elevated to those challenges. And I think that, you know, they're able to play offensively how they're able to play in the Sun Belt, which is like an underrated league. It's very even. So that's why it doesn't, we're not always talking about Arkansas States and App States and Marshall, South Alabama, like, but they're all like from if you're talking 1 through 8, it's probably one of the better, maybe a top 10 mid-major league. So I like a lot about this team. And yes,
I'm with you on the way they play. The way they play is like aggressive. It's fearless. Also, like they don't care who they're playing against. They have size and athleticism and that style of aggression to compete with bigger athletic power teams that most mid majors can't, for sure. Victor Valdez is awesome. Thomas Dowd walking double. I love those two guys for sure. Having the extra size, obviously with an injury issue, is concerning. But it's funny you said, like, on paper they're not a good shooting team. They do shoot a lot, but they don't shoot at a high clip. But they can get red hot. Like the Campbell brothers,
yes.
People, those are two of the guys, like, oh, the white boys in March, you fall in love. Cooper and Kobe Campbell, they score together like 21 points a game. They both shoot, it's like 39 and 40% from three, at least 5 attempts each per game from outside. Like they can get absolutely red hot and open the game up for everybody. I like them a lot, and I like that they have tournament experience. I like that their coaching staff and their players have been there before last year. They know what it takes to win, and I think I know they scheduled the toughest non-con schedule arguably in the country when you consider that they weren't home either for over a month to start the season. That was to prepare them for March, and it's obviously worked in their 2 Sun Belt games to get them here. But the NCAA tournament, they're a 13 or 14 seed. They're one of those teams. I'm with you. They could definitely take them down. I know you're on Troy. I know you're on them last year. That's you're a Troy Trojan.
I am, and I don't typically watch them that much in November just because it's so exciting. There's all these MTEs, but I went out of my way to watch them play San Diego State and USC, and was like, it's the guys from last year.
They're legit.
And everyone's elevated, and like I just love that. And like Dowd's gotten so much better. And in terms of your 3-point like it's very true. Like there's capable shooters on this team 100%. My boy Valdez is 21%. That and Dowd's at 33, and those guys will let it fly. But on the right day, anything can happen. There's a lot to like about them.
Yeah, you mentioned back experience, by the way. They are 37th in the country in roster continuity at 44% of their minutes being from last year's team, which is high in the current landscape of this sport, which is crazy. But yeah, I do like Troy. By the way, I asked this question basically just to give you a Troy segment. That was the whole point. Like I did that intentionally. So, all right, we got one more thing to do. A little draft. Let's have a little fun. I want to do. Usually, I feel like people talk about like not majors. Dark horses to make Final Four runs. They talk about like 4 seeds and up. But I feel like with the elite tier at the top, I will set the standard a little higher almost for us to have more teams. We're gonna do a draft of teams that are non-top 2 seeds projected in the bracket right now that we would think can make a Final Four or Elite 8 run, that can make deep runs into the tournament. We'll call it Final Four potential. So right now on Bracket Matrix, we have Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Florida, UConn, Houston, Illinois, Michigan State are the 1 and 2 seeds. So those teams are off limits. Everybody else who you think has Final Four potential is on the table. I'm going to let you decide whether you want to go first or second, and we'll snake.
How many total draft picks do I get?
We'll do 4 total. How about that?
Can we do 5?
Sure.
I want to get deeper though, because I'm looking at some of these 3s and 4s, and I'm like, then I can't say my sneaky ones.
Okay, fine. Well, then just pass up on the 3s and 4s if you want to. Fine, we'll do 5. We'll do 5 teams if you want to. You want to go first or second?
You go first.
Me go first?
Yeah.
Fine. See, I know who you're gonna take in your first pick, and I kind of want to take them.
Do it. I think you're gonna be wrong.
I'm not gonna take them anyway. I am going to take Iowa State with the first pick because they are the highest projected 3 seed right now. They're in that territory. When they're on, they are as good as anybody in the entire country. They've proven that. They've done that all year. They've beaten Houston and Kansas at home, looking great. They won at Mackey. They look great in Vegas also. Like, they have the experience, the shooting capabilities, the defense, and the experience in their coaching staff at this point with TJ Otzelberger being there year after year. I believe that they can get to an Elite 8 and Final Four if the bracket is set up right for them and if they're on, because they're one of the few teams in the country that if they lose, it's them beating themselves, and that's what I'm worried about. But I'd rather have a team like that than a team that has clear weaknesses. So I'll take Iowa State.
I think I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to take Nebraska with my first pick.
Ooh, love that.
I think everyone's kind of cooled off Nebraska. They started 20-0. They were the best story. They were a team that you talked about a lot, obviously. And like in Big Ten play, it's not like nothing bad happened. Like they got crushed by UCLA in a tough West Coast road spot in the second game of that trip, but they've shown the ability to play with everybody. They take Michigan down to the wire at Michigan. They won at Illinois. They beat Michigan State. They beat all the best teams in their elite. And when you look at the fact that they have an elite defense, they have the 5th best defense in the country. Obviously, offensively, we know the motion and Samford shooting gravity and Mast's ability to play through the post or as a 5-out hub, who, by the way, Mast hasn't been that great lately, which is part of the reason that they've cooled off, but I still believe in him. He's still a guy that can go get you 25 in a tournament game. I understand that there's some swings with the three-point attempt rate. They take a lot of threes. They give up a lot of threes, so that might make them seem like a risky pick here, but I'm just looking at the fact that on a game-by-game basis, they're extremely consistent. They can play with anyone in the country, and I can see them winning 4 games in a row.
100%. I love that pick. I was ready to take them. I didn't think you would consider them so high. And when you talk about teams that are seen as dark horses to make runs, you have to have some kind of volatility in your style. So they can get red hot offensively and defensively on the 3-point line, defending it and shooting it. So if they're going to do that at a high level, like we've seen majority of the season, why can't they beat a ton of teams, especially teams that are better than them? So I like that a lot.
And quick bonus, Braden Frager is the type of dude that in a tournament game, Sweet 16, it's like that's the dude who just hit a couple crazy shots and is the reason that, having a guy off the bench who can go for 20 is so valuable. And a lot of teams don't have that. And like he's a dude, and he's the type of guy that I think can like make those types of plays down the stretch.
And they don't go super deep. They have a core of like 6 guys that they rely on the most, which I love for March, because I think teams that rely too much on depth, you can't play everybody the whole time. So when it comes down to brass tacks, you have to rely on your guys. And they have glue guy of the year, Sam Hoiberg. Love that.
Of course.
So, all right, who's your next pick?
Oh, I get 2.
We'll snake. So 1, 2, 2, 1. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm fine with just alternating. I don't want to.
No, please.
You sure? I get a
Yes.
second? Fine. I don't want to take Purdue. I'm not going to take Purdue. I'm going to take Arkansas.
Oh,
why not? Let's get crazy.
Bitch. You bitch.
I gave you the chance.
You bitch.
Look, it's Calipari. They should have beat Texas Tech and had a chance to play for the Final Four last year. They're better this year. Brazil's playing so well. I thought Ewan was awesome down the stretch of that Mizzou game. Malik Thomas is a microwave. Billy Richmond keeps getting better and better. I wish you had Knox there. It's just a little thin without him, but to the point you just made, like those are his guys. They're going to rock out. And at least you have the big man depth. You have Pringle, you have Ewan, you have Brazil. So it's not like you have to worry about your one big guy fouling out. But punch for punch, this team can play with anybody in the country. And they take care of the ball better. How are they number 1 in turnover rate? It's like insane that Acuff has done that, and that Calipari, a Calipari coach team is playing like that. But
right, that makes zero sense. And I think I said it since the beginning of the year, and we've talked with them a lot. They've played a really tough schedule in the non-con slate. They played against Big 10 teams and Big 12 teams and SEC all over the entire year, which I love. They like to let the boys hoop, and if any team is going to play into that style, they're going to beat them 99% of the time because they're more talented and better. And it helps when you have Darius Acuff, who's probably one of 3 guys in the country who can have some kind of Kemba type of run this season. He's the first guy you have to think of, along with like Christian Anderson and LeBaron Fallon and maybe someone else. But like those kind of guys are very, very rare. They could lose to a 12 seed as a 5 seed in the first round, but they could easily be in the Elite Eight or Final Four, which I love. I love that kind of team. That's what makes or breaks a March Madness bracket. They're fascinating. I will be very high on them unless the matchup is bad. It is crazy that their turnover rate is so low. It makes no sense. It's like 12%, right?
yeah,
Maybe even lower. 12.3%, number 1 in the country. That's insane. That's
love them.
I love them too. Woo Pig Suey. Have you ever done a Woo Pig Suey?
No, how do I do it?
You go Woo Pig Suey.
Woo Pig Suey.
Yeah, something like that. Suey! That's what you say. It's something like that. The Arkansas fans also get on me a little bit because usually I'm not very good at it, but I don't really know what I'm doing wrong. But whatever. All right, I'll go next. I thought you were going to take them. I'll gladly take Texas Tech. Even without JT Toppin, I still think that they can make an Elite Eight and maybe even a Final Four if things go well. The culture that Grant McCaslin has is, I call them like junkyard dogs. It doesn't matter who they're going to put on the floor. Donovan Atwell, Jalen Petty is one of my favorite players in the country. Tyree Bryan, Luke Bamboye is obviously healthy and playing now. Lawan Watts, Christian Anderson. They still have enough of a core to have a good team that can compete talent-wise. They are fearless. They're great shot makers. They can hit tough shots. Christian Anderson, I mentioned, is one of those guys who can go on a Kemba, Shabazz, Walter Clayton type run. I truly believe that. If they had JT Toppin, I think that they would be able to win a national championship. Obviously, not having a first-team All-American healthy is going to hurt your chances, but I still think they're built so well, and their style is so well built for March. We saw it last year, getting to the Elite Eight. They won that Arkansas game because of their culture that they have, and I think that they could still get there, so I'll still take Texas Tech there.
I love the pick. Definitely think they can get there. I love them, and the way you describe what McCaslin does so well is – like, he's top 5 in the sport. This team has just this body of work of comebacks and just unwavering belief. Bamboye and Mosley have been playing really well. It just sucks we never got to see everyone all together. This team would have been top 5 good. I would have probably penciled them into my Final Four no matter what region they were in.
Yep.
Should they have Toppin? I think it's going to be really matchup dependent, but of course they have. I totally am aligned that they still have the ceiling to do it.
Yeah. All right, next one I'm going to take. I feel like this might be one of me falling into my biases of who I like, but I still think Virginia is built to succeed in the tournament. The Duke ass kicking is what it is. Duke's was at their peak of their playing in full health. Virginia has a great coach in Ryan Odom who has success in March. His system is awesome. They have 2 of the best shot blockers in the country in Ugo and Yenso and Johan Grunlo. And they're amazing defending the paint when they're on. They have Tez DeRitter, who's a great point forward number 1 option player. He's a 23-year-old freshman for whatever, but he's older, he's experienced, he's strong, he's good on the ball, and their guards are still so underrated. All of them have come from underrated locations. Chance Mallory was relatively under-recruited because of his size, but he is a dynamite stick. Jakari White is like their X factor. Dallin Hall is a good playmaker. Sam Lewis is an absolute bucket. I love this team. I think they're so well built on both sides of the ball. They have older guys, experience. Their coach is really good, who's experienced in the tournament also. I love them. I still think that they're well built. They're on the 4 seed line right now. I think they could absolutely take down a 1 seed in the Sweet 16.
They're so well built. I love Jakari, love Sam Lewis, love a lot of these guys, but I'm just having a tough time. They haven't played a top 25 team other than Duke, and they played the toughest possible top 25 game at Duke. So it's just there's a 27-4 ACC team being slotted on the 4 line right now is nuts, and I'm just a little worried because I haven't really seen it with them against the best. But they have a complete team
and we haven't seen it. They did beat Ohio State a few weeks ago, which is obviously not. I'm not saying they're a top 25 team, but Ohio State still good and looks a lot better now since that game too. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of question marks, and I think that's why they're getting held back resume-wise and on the seed line, and that's why people will overlook them because they've beaten nobody. They give them the Gonzaga treatment kind of thing. They haven't beaten the great teams, and I think that's good. People won't be on Virginia, and that makes me feel better about it.
Speaking of the Gonzaga treatment, that's a team I'm not going to be picking for this draft because this is the first year since, I don't know, before the Nigel Williams-Goss team that I don't have them in my Final Four. I always end up putting them in my Final Four, and this year I would love to be wrong because I like Mark Few and I like the program and I like Tyon, but I just don't see it with them.
I don't know what the last time they lost an NCAA tournament, the first round game was. I'm going to go look it up right now. It can't be anytime recently because they always go to the Sweet 16, and last year they lost in the second round. They lost to Houston because they were an 8 seed. They have not lost a first round game.
Oh my God.
It looks like
since Steph Curry.
Since 2010? No?
Steph Curry.
Was that first round? No, 2010 was the second round versus Syracuse. First round was 2008 as a 7th seed against Steph Curry. You're right, my bad. So 2008, it took 2008 Steph Curry at Davidson to take down Gonzaga in the first round. They have not been out since. There is no Steph Curry they will be playing against in the first round as a 13 seed, I promise you. But you're not taking Gonzaga. Go ahead.
I'm not taking Gonzaga. I'm taking Vanderbilt. You knew it was about to happen. I still believe My main data points, obviously I love Tyler Tanner. He continues to get better and better. Tyler Nichols, one of the best shooters in the country. Duke Miles is healthy. Okereke, McLaughlin, Washington have all had their moments. And, when you talk about Iowa State being a team that doesn't beat themselves, Vandy, I put in that category too of like elite free throw shooting team, elite at taking care of the basketball. You love the shot profile. They don't really play outside themselves. And if they lose, it's because the bigs fouled out or they didn't shoot the ball well enough.
Yeah.
But I feel like everything is controllable, and I feel like if the bigs are on the floor and they're shooting it decently, they can really beat anyone. And one of my main data points from that is when they played Florida at home. I was there. That's the one time I saw them live this year. Florida out rebounds them by 14. You have the hook and hold, and Chinulu gets like 4 straight free throws, something, and he makes them all. And then Xavier Lee has a tough deep 3. Isaiah Brown goes 2 for 3. All of that, and Vandy had a lead in the final minute. And that's against a monstrous Florida team that nobody else in the SEC, other than that random game against Auburn, which I'm just throwing away because of what's happened to Auburn season. Like, Vandy played Florida that good. That can't be understated. Like, Arkansas and Texas got away from them. I get it that what their limitations can be on paper, but I really think they have the build of a team that can play up to anyone better than people think. Like, I loved how physical they were against Tennessee, and Tanner's that dude, and I'm a fan. And you getting some bonus minutes from Chandler Bing off the bench. I really wish we had Frankie Collins because it just allowed Duke and Chandler. Tyler. Yeah, I did say we.
Wow. Holy shit. Bro just said we.
I wish the door. I just got back. So
No, honestly,
I never even say that about Wake too.
Yeah, you actually deserve that for we. The amount of time and energy and research you've invested into the Vanderbilt team and emotional, and I don't know about financial backing. I'm not going to ask you about that. You deserve it. You deserve it. It's okay.
Well, my biggest bet of the year was them to beat St. Mary's in Bahamas, and they won by 25, which is another point that they could beat teams with 2 giant 7-footers who will. St. Mary's, how do you score 96 on St. Mary's and turn them over that much? Like, special
St.
team.
Mary's will forever perplex me, but that is fair. All right, you have another pick, I think, right?
Oh wow. Okay. Should I get deep?
Do whatever you want. You have 2 picks left. You have 1 pick now, and then I get 2, and then you get 1. So,
fine. I'll take Purdue. I still think it can happen. I still think it can happen. They have issues. I just wonder mentally. Think about TKR, Braden, and Fletch. Your freshman year, you win the Big Ten tournament, 1 seed, blah, blah. You lose to the 16 seed. So sophomore and junior year, the Big Ten tournament was just like whatever, because the Big Ten tournament winning that meant nothing because of what happened with Fairleigh Dickinson, right?
Literally nothing, yeah.
So this year, like, season starts to get a little hard. January 17th, they're 17-1 with that only loss being to Iowa State, who was still undefeated at the time, I think.
Yeah.
So it's been tough since then. They're what, 5-7 to close the? No, they're 6-7.
They've been really bad in their last month. Really, really bad.
It's been bad. I was at the game when they played at Northwestern, and if it wasn't for CJ Cox going crazy, it's like they lose that game. And defensively, Joe Jackson described this to me. The issue is they really don't have optionality. Like, it's like they kind of have to play one way. If they try to play a different way, it never works. But I still think about the fact, like, Wisconsin needed a lights out game to beat them. Like, Michigan shot like 50% from 3 when they beat them. Like, I still think that offensively with Braden, with Painter, and some hot shooting, that they can score on anyone. And if defensively they can just get a little lucky and just play really hard, like,
I think without a doubt they should be on this list, and one of us should take them. And I think without a doubt they can get to Indy or get close to it, to the Elite Eight with 100%. I think the Big Ten atrocious type of schedule and type of teams, which Iowa State is kind of similar to, if we're really being honest, they play very similarly to a lot of the better Big Ten teams. Like, I don't think that's beneficial to them, and they're not going to play those types of teams for the most part in the NCAA tournament because they're in their conference. They won't play them for a little while. I also, at the same time, disagree with you that overlooking how they got beat in those games, where Wisconsin's done that consistently. Michigan has done that relatively consistently at their peak. Like, their defense is a problem. Their concerns are their concerns. Joe is so right, where they don't have any new players and new personnel and new styles they can throw at it. Like, this is what they're doing the best they possibly can. It also just might be like, if they lose in the Sweet 16 again, it's like, okay, we just have to accept that they're the same team as they were last year, essentially, with the capabilities and strengths and weaknesses. And that's okay. And that is what it is.
So you kind of made this point for me in non-conference. They beat Texas Tech by 30 with Toppin.
Yep.
They beat Auburn by 28, and they won at Bama. And those are teams with different styles from different leagues. And it was,
I'm
Purdue's
with
just
you,
too good. You can't guard them, right? So
I'm with you that they can matchups are right. They can easily make a run, and I think because they were so bad at home this year at Mackey, and they've been so bad in the last month, people have already chalked up Purdue upset in the first or second round. They've chalked that up in their brains, whether they admit that or not, and that's where they're going to go. But if they don't play against teams that can make their life a living hell like the Big Ten teams have, they will win those games.
But I don't know if when I'm making my bracket, I'm going to want to put Purdue in my Final Four, because if they do lose, they're going to be like, of course.
Right, exactly. It's the Purdue effect. There is the Purdue effect in the back of your brain, and I think that's fair. Like, how is that not fair? It happens every year, except for they went the Zach Edey year. Obviously, it's the title game, but they lost the FDU with Zach Edey also. Nonetheless, let's get on with this. Let's finish this up. My last two picks, I'm gonna get real sexy with the next one. You mentioned them before. Give me Wisconsin. Give me the Badgers. They're the only team in database history that has scored 90 points and hit 15 plus threes against 4 different AP top 25 teams and won those games. They can get Sophie. You hear this? Sophie, seriously, I'm talking about Wisconsin.
She's reminding you that Nolan Winter might be available and looks to be
Right, and
available.
if I was getting to that, if Sophie was not interrupting me. Nolan Winter's return would be awesome, obviously, for size. They need that. But they can get red hot against any type of team in the country, anybody. So it's another team where if it's their night and their confidence is high, which it has been majority of the season, they will make a run, and they absolutely can. I actually hate that they've played themselves to a 5 seed, because I get worried about the 12 seed they're going to play, that they might drop out early, similar to how Arkansas, like hot, or they could be an Elite 8 team or out in the first round. I still love Wisconsin. I think Nick Boyd's an All-American. John Blackwell's a bucket. Now that John Blackwell is back to like that 1B type of guy, instead of being like trying to push him into this number 1 conversation like they did earlier in the year, Nick Boyd is their best player. John Blackwell is their 1B, and they have guys beyond that. Rapp and Andrew Rohde can get hot, and I like them a lot. I think they could definitely make a run.
100%. That was going to be my next pick. And Braden Carrington off the bench has been lights out. And I totally agree with you about Nick Boyd being All-American. He wasn't first team All Big Ten. I don't know who exactly he should have replaced, but and just to have a dude, this is his 5th year. Obviously, what he did at FAU, even San Diego State getting in the tournament last year, that's the kind of seasoned guard I want.
Yeah. Next one is tough. There's a lot of, like, we haven't gotten into Alabama, Kansas, Louisville, BYU. Like, BYU is interesting. AJ's amazing. I love Rob Wright. I still don't trust them to win 2 games in a row and get to the Sweet 16 and beyond, or even especially beyond that. And especially as the competition gets better. There are even teams like Ohio State is sexy, UCLA. I love TCU. Oh, man, I love TCU, but you're smiling. Is that your next? I'll let you have them then.
No.
I love TCU, but I am going to take Gonzaga. We've talked about them before. The last time Gonzaga lost in the first round was, here we go, 2008 Steph Curry, now that we know that for sure. The only time in the last decade plus they haven't been to the Sweet 16 was last year, because they were an 8 seed and had a chance to beat Houston in the second round and get to that Sweet 16, but that was a tough matchup. I think they're underrated. Without Braden Huff, he's not going to play the rest of the year. Without Braden Huff, is completely tanks their ceiling. But if you told me they're in the Sweet 16 and playing maybe in an Elite 8, I would not be surprised at all, because they're super, super old and experienced. They obviously have an amazing coaching staff that has done this time and time again. Mario Saint-Supri and Davis Fogel are like the 2 young guys that have gotten better and better, being on the ball and doing more as the year has gone on. They just cleaned through the WCC relatively easy for the most part. I still like them. I think they're underrated, and maybe that's me being a Gonzaga homer year after year, like we both have been, it sounds like, but I like them a lot still.
Yeah, I think my brain's just having a tough time accepting the fact that this is a defensive-minded team.
Fair.
And they are a great defensive team, but it's just hard seeing like multiple non-shooters out there for a Gonzaga team.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
Still Mark Few, and I agree. I they're going to make the Sweet 16, so I just think it's going to be like a close Sweet 16 loss versus
great. And most of the teams we're saying probably won't make the Sweet 16. Or not
Of
maybe
course.
most of them, but a lot of them. Mark,
No.
who's your last pick?
I don't even think I'm taking. I'm doing some preference. Like I would have taken Wisconsin over Gonzaga, but I think Gonzaga is a way better team. I just think Wisconsin has the flair to,
100%.
you know what I'm saying?
That's why
But,
I took them before them. Yeah, there you go.
Right. Well, I should take Kansas. I don't know if I want to take Kansas.
I thought about it. I probably should.
BYU man with Kadeem Boop in that bigger role.
The legend himself.
I don't know, man. I could see AJ.
You want to?
going
I know
back.
you want to get crazy. And you want to get sexy.
I want to get crazy and say UCLA
By all means.
because we've seen it before. It's an offensive minded Mick Cronin team that, you know, has some really good play. Like the Jaime Hawkins, Jules Bernard, Tiger Campbell team, very similar. As in, they didn't have a ton of size, they didn't have a ton of depth, but you know, Mick can get his guys to elevate defensively. That team just got hot at the right time, and I think when you have a point guard who's just playing out of his freaking mind right now, what is it? 50 turnovers to 50 assists to 2 turnovers,
or 50 something assists, 50 assists to 2 turnovers in the last like 5 games.
And as good as he is, like, I don't want to distract from the fact that Tyler Bilodeau's played out of his mind. He's one of the most skilled bigs in the country. He's shooting 46% from deep. And then Trent Perry has emerged as a stud guard as well. And I love me some Sky Clark. He's shooting 45% from deep.
Yeah.
That 3-guard lineup with Dalen Bilodeau is super tough to guard. So, yeah, there's weaknesses to exploit on the defensive end for them. But if they play up to there's such a mismatch on the other end. And then, like, Booker's been better. My boy Jamar Brown can mix in there. Give me a few minutes of Jamerson. Like, there's a world, man. I've seen it before with Mick, and they are really
There's
good.
a world. I don't know where the world is, but it's like Doctor Strange when he goes, one. There's one. There's only one for universe that this happens. But I see the vision with Donovan Dent. I see the vision in the guard play. I also see the vision the other way with Mick Cronin. So,
And they know. I mean, how good have they been other than road trips in the Big Ten? And I know that's been his kryptonite.
oh my God, I just put the stat out. They've been the #1 team in the country amongst potential tournament teams that are overly good at home or overly reliant on home court advantage. They're like 60% better at home versus on the road. It's terrible.
Yes, but it's because they're so good at home, because these road games, once they're down 15, it's just over. What
That's a
about when they
problem.
played? What about, I know it is, but I think it's different because it's March. And what about when they played Arizona? They almost beat Arizona. They were one of the only teams that almost beat Arizona.
Yeah,
Especially non-con.
Listen, all right, I'm not.
Bilodeau had
by all
19
means.
points and 0 fouls against Arizona.
That is interesting. Okay, so who are your 5? You took Nebraska, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Purdue and UCLA, right?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
And I took Iowa State, Texas Tech, Virginia, Wisconsin, Gonzaga. None of these teams are going to make the Elite Eight now that we did
The
this.
Kansas fans are going to be so pressed at us. Can I just say, I of course think Kansas can make it. I just wanted to have fun. And
Yeah, of course they exactly. Of course they can. I also don't. I hate their volatility. They're one of those teams. Iowa State is also, to be fair, that relies on the home court advantage a lot. That's been evident this year at Fog Allen Fieldhouse, but they've also been bad at home too. I don't know. I just can't. Kansas. I cannot. My gut is telling me not to trust them. It's telling me not to trust them. So we need to see what the bracket comes out. So if any of these teams make the Final Four or Elite Eight, and like if one of us has more than the other, friendly wager on something, coffee or something.
Yeah, I got you. Something in Indy.
Okay.
Wait. Last thing. Alabama is a team that I'm surprised I didn't take, but without without Bristow and just
Without
defensively,
Bediako.
they're too bad defensively. Oh my God. I forgot that even happened.
Crazy that happened this year. It's crazy. It's crazy. Without Charles Bediako, they're not going anywhere.
Oh man.
It's crazy. Hey, appreciate you for joining. I think this is going out today or tomorrow. We'll figure it out. But appreciate you for joining as always. We'll do another one soon. And yes, people, Christian we're doing a little Airbnb thing. I'll let you know what it's going to look like, more details soon. But Christian is going to be there at the Final Four with us.
I'm fired up. Always a blast to hang with you, Ryan.
Okay, that was Christian Odjakjian. Good stuff as always. He's the best. We love
Vanderbilt.
him. I mean, he talked. You heard it. He talked a lot about Vanderbilt in that show.
That's a good guess.
In that piece. Yeah, you actually didn't know until you just said
Nope,
that.
good guess.
And he actually didn't do Texas Tech, though. I did. Which is funny. He's a big Texas Tech guy.
I know.
But Vanderbilt, he loves Vanderbilt. We did talk about the major teams also that have recently won champions. I mentioned them earlier. Since Sunday night, The mid-majors that have locked up their auto bids in their leagues have been Troy in the Sun Belt, which we talked a lot about. Hofstra, Hofstra, friend of the program in the CAA. Wright State out of the Horizon League. That took me a second. Siena out of the MAC with 2 A's. North Dakota State on Sunday night out of the Summit as we recorded on Sunday night. That game was tipping off. And then mid-major Gonzaga, obviously, another friend of the program, wins WCC. We'll talk a little bit more about the WCC specifically after this. I feel like I'm missing a mid-major that had won their league. Is that it?
I think you got them all. Yeah,
Okay.
North Dakota State was not final yet. So
Yep. Okay, so let's talk through these real fast. I think we should each pick one of these like we did the other day.
Okay.
Which one of these majors that has won their conference title in the last few days are you most excited about for upset potential?
Well, I'm going to let you cover my most excited one
Oh.
because my answer is Hofstra.
Oh, absolutely.
So what the floor is yours, Ryan.
Hofstra's got juice. Hofstra has got serious juice, and they might do damage in this tournament. This is going to be the first time they're in the NCAA tournament since 2001 when their head coach was Jay Wright, and in the year before that, in 2000, they did back-to-back tournament appearances. In 2000, their best player was Speedy Claxton, who is now their head coach. So,
Did you see him crying?
yeah, dude, full circle moment
It's
for
really
Hofstra.
cool, yeah.
Absolutely love that. So shout out to the Pride. It's an awesome story for them. The ties to Jay Wright and Speedy and it being that long since they've been there is crazy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were a couple of years that the fans feel they got robbed from being in. It might
They
have been
did get it
2020,
in
right?
2020, but
Right.
there was no tournament.
So they would have been there in 2020, but they
Yeah.
didn't get to play, which sucks. But this is their first tournament since 2001. They have the most terrifying guard duo in mid-major basketball, without a doubt. Cruz Davis and Preston Edmeade are so they are unbelievable. Talk about motion and small guards in March. This is it right here. Cruz Davis, CAA Player of the Year, scores over 20 points a game. He is an absolute bucket. He was a Rick Pitino guy at Iona, and he was on that St. John's team also for a year before transferring over to Hofstra, staying in the area. Love that, by the way, even though he's from Texas.
Yes.
He just wanted to stay in the area.
New York.
He likes New York. He plays like a New York guard, too.
He does.
He plays like a New York guard. And Preston Edmeade is amazing. I think he's listed at 6'1". That's generous. He is, and in the best way I say that, because he is the small, shifty guard that can take over March, and he already has. Cruz Davis goes into foul trouble, fouls out in their semifinal game against, who they play in that game?
In the semifinals?
I forget already.
Towson.
Towson. He fouls out of that game, and it goes to the freshman, Preston Edmeade. Super under-recruited. Nobody knows about this kid, and he absolutely went off in that game. He carried this team in that CAA semifinal game. He hit that crazy bank shot to send them to the CAA title game where the entire team kind of took care of business, but he's awesome. He's gotten better as the year has gone on. He's like a dynamite stick, and then the rest of their team, you wouldn't think they're like, oh, like they run through two guards. What kind of size do they have? The rest of their team is depth of size and athleticism. They have like a 7-footer Silas Sunday from Ireland. They have a 6'10 guy, 6'9, 6'8. Like, they have size that helps them be very good rebounding the ball, hit the offensive glass. This team's got motion, and this team's got potential to do damage. They're going to be around a 13 seed, I think.
Yeah.
They're not fun. They're not going to be fun to play against.
No, they have the build of, like, again, we talk a lot about, what do you call it? Big ball.
Goliath potential? Oh.
No, you talk
Sorry.
about how this year is really big ball and the best teams in the country are all these big teams. But in March, the Cinderellas typically are guard-led and have these undersized guards who tend to go off. They got 2 of them.
Dude.
And they're really
so
well
cold.
coached. This is, bear in mind, they beat, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, they beat Rutgers, they beat Seton Hall. Like, this Speedy Claxton coach team has beaten a lot of them. Look, there's no bracket yet, but I think they're going to win a game.
They played 2 power conference teams in the non-con slate this year. They lost to UCF on the road by 4 to start the year, and they beat Pitt by 7 on the road.
Pretty good.
And they beat Syracuse on the road by 1. I forgot. I remember that game. So they played 3 power conference teams this year. They lost by 4 to UCF at UCF. They beat Syracuse and Pitt both on the road.
Yep.
Okay, I'm even more convinced.
Yeah.
I love Hofstra. I love the Pride. Friend of the program. Shout out to them.
Ryan, do you know who my favorite Hofstra athlete of all time is?
Wayne Corbett.
Wow, you got it right.
Go Jets.
Do you know who else went to Hofstra? Another receiver.
Active or no?
No, tall guy, didn't play for the Jets.
Plaxico burst. Oh, he did play for the Jets.
Marcus Colston.
Whoa, he went to Hofstra?
Marcus Colston, Hofstra grad.
Wow. Now I know. I'm probably going to forget that.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's a forgettable
By the way,
fact.
I don't want to blur before we get to my team. Your shirt.
Oh my God, I
And
forgot.
technically, they have won a title since our last.
Fins up.
They have won a title since our last podcast.
I forgot that I'm wearing this shirt. It was electric last night.
Yeah, do you have a great time?
Me and Fanta were going crazy.
Yeah.
And Eric was there too.
Eric got amazing FaceTime on Fanta's video after the dunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like
hilarious.
Eric going like muscles with his jean jacket on, looking all Brooklyn.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. And
Anyway, I wanted to call that
shout
out.
out
real quick.
Rod Strickland.
Bro.
Did you know that
Speedy Claxton, Rod Strickland. Like,
Yo,
come
wait.
on,
I gotta
man.
find this tweet for you real fast.
Come on.
I don't know if you saw this. This is very important to the topic of conversation. Come on, where is it? It was Matt Norlander, and Matt Norlander tweets a lot.
By the way, we have like 3 Norlander tweets teed up for this episode.
Here we go. Ready? Siena wins the MAC and is in the NCAA tournament for the
Jerry
first time in
McNamara.
16 years. Jerry McNamara, Rod Strickland, Speedy Claxton, and Nolan Smith. Going to have a lot of that guy was awesome. Former CBB guards coaching in the big dances here. Really fun storyline emerging. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. That's really
Shout out, Matt. I just wanted to read that.
My team does not have a coach led by a former NBA guard or college basketball guard, but it is led by Dave Richmond out of Fargo, North Dakota. So North Dakota State, the Bison.
Are they? Someone said the Bison.
That was me, and I was just screwing with
No,
you.
someone said it's with the Z, I think. Or maybe it's not with
It's
the Z.
with an S, but I think they do say Bison in the North Dakota streets.
Pronunciation of Bison.
No, it's
Shh, we're going to listen. Ready?
Bison,
this is bad podcasting.
bison,
Let me try slow. Hold on.
bison,
Bison.
It's just the way that they say it
Shh,
there.
one more time.
bison,
It sounds like a Z and an S.
This is,
bison,
Like one of those Slovakian names.
bison,
Bison.
please stop.
Bison. Sounds Japanese, actually, too.
Please stop.
Okay, go ahead.
They're going to be a 14 seed, and they're not going to be a 14 seed anybody wants to see. They're like top 125 offense and defense. They're very, as North Dakota State always is, they're extremely balanced.
Bison.
The Bison. They went and they won their 3 games by a combined like 35 points in the Summit League. They are led by Damari Wheeler Thomas, who has been outrageous the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He shoots a lot of threes. He's a bucket getter. Another 6-foot undersized guard, if you will. They're going to be a struggle to play against, as I feel like any team out of the Summit League typically is in the first round.
They have their best players are 3 guards.
Yep.
It's Damari Wheeler Thomas, Trevian Carson, and Andy Stefanovic. I love him.
Yep.
Stefanovic.
By the way, Carson grabs like 7 rebounds a game.
Yeah, they're good. They're a little undersized. They're not super physical. That worries me for them. But they got 3 guards who can get hot. They're not like this unbelievable shooting team, but they can shoot the ball with those 3. They all shoot like 40% from 3. So
Yeah. Oh wait, you and I also missed one. I think I just figured out the team you missed.
Who was it?
Furman.
No. Oh, they were Sunday.
Yes.
No, they
No.
were Monday.
No, they were Monday.
Shit, Furman.
And the reason,
I love
and the
Furman.
reason I bring them up is
Damn.
they are almost definitely going to be a 15.
They might not.
That's a terrifying 15.
The
seed.
reason why they might not be a 15 is because one, the committee loves Bob Ritchie and Furman, and they know him.
I've said that
but,
to you.
But also, like, they have not been fully healthy all year until now, and that's obviously evident in their play and how they looked in the SoCon tournament. The Bowser brothers are both missing time. Cooper Bowser, they're basically their best player, or their second best player after Alex Wilkins, missed a lot of time, but he's fully healthy and rolling. They've had a couple other injuries all year. And Alex Wilkins is the most underrated freshman in the country. He's a high major
said this
lead guard
before.
potential player. They're going to be the quality of a 15.
I think.
Sorry, they're going to be a 15. I think you're
They're
right.
going to be a 15.
But they're the quality of like a 12,
Yeah, they're.
which means they will still likely lose their first round game to a 2 seed or maybe a 3 if they're a 14. But if you're that 2 or 3 that draws, then that sucks.
It's not the
that
joy.
sucks.
Not the joy. By the way, I'm so sick of this narrative on. There's someone posted an article about like, oh my God, the NCAA doesn't have any upsets anymore. Do we not forget that 2 years ago FAU was playing San Diego State in the Final Four?
3 years ago. I
3
think.
years ago,
Yeah.
and 2 years ago, someone made a run 2 years ago who wasn't quick.
NC
Yes,
State.
thank you. Like a double-digit seed made
And
the Final
Oakland
Four.
had that beat Kentucky.
So we had 1 year of chalk, and all of a sudden the tournament's over.
No, people just like to cry.
Yeah, whatever.
People like to cry.
I'm
If
over
we
it.
get chalk this year, fine, have the conversation. But
I'm
we're
over
not.
it. I'm
We're not
over
going
it.
to because
I'm over
teams
it.
rock. All right, how about the WCC? It finished last night. Gonzaga takes it home. They look good. for the record. I think not having Braden Huff sucks, but Mario St. Cyprien and Davis Fogel, the two young guys, getting better and better, and they look great. Mario St. Cyprien was shooting the lights out last night. That makes me a little more confident in them. People are going to overlook them. Gonzaga, they're not that good. They're fraudulent. We're not picking. They will be in the Sweet 16. They will find their way there because they always do, basically. Gonzaga looks good, but St. Mary's is going to be in the tournament, and I believe that Santa Clara is going to be in their first NCAA tournament since 1996. They have had NBA players, a lottery pick very recently, multiple 20-win seasons, but it's been since 1996 they haven't gotten in. Right now, I have them projected. Let me see where I posted it.
They're out of Dayton, too.
I have them projected as a last four bye. So getting either the last 10 seed or the first 11 seed, which is an amazing spot for a dark horse team. I think that they're going to be a very tough out for a few reasons. One, they're the 33rd biggest team in the country and 10th in offensive rebounding. They're aggressive attacking the glass. The big teams that they're going to have to play against, we keep talking about big ball and the big athletic power teams. They can compete with them on the glass with their size and athleticism. They play at good pace. They have really good skill in their roster. Christian Hammond is their lead guard. Bucky Oboye is this insane, not a crazy high PT, but this crazy shot blocker who had a game earlier in the year with 8 or 9 blocks or something like that. Alan Graves, I've talked about him on this podcast before, is going to be an NBA player. It might not be this year. It might be next year. He's one of the best, maybe the best sixth man in the entire country, but he's been playing starter minutes off the bench. He's unbelievable, this swing guy of versatility on the wing. And then Sash, they call him Sash Alexander, but Sash Gavalyagov, everyone coming out party against St. Mary's. He's the Bulgarian sophomore that came from the NBA Global Academy. Super
Brad
tough
Underwood
guard.
is going to offer him so much money next year.
Yeah, he is. super tough guard. Love him. They have legit professional skill all over their roster and size and athleticism. I actually don't think Gonzaga is a friendly matchup to them, like a bigger team that's defensive.
It's not at all.
But if they play a team that can struggle against that size.
I was going to say, Ryan, again, I'm just using Bracket Matrix as a guide. And bear in mind.
So who could they be matched up against?
So a lot of these tournaments haven't started yet. But there's two teams on the 7 line that are staring me in the face saying they'd be in trouble against Santa Clara.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Louisville?
No, there are 6.
Oh, okay. Just tell me then.
Villanova.
That's not good for Villanova.
And Kentucky.
Yeah, that would not be good for Kentucky. It would be an interesting game. I like the other matchup better. I don't know how I feel about the Kentucky one right now. But
you might be missing maybe the biggest factor of all with Santa Clara, Herb Sendek.
He's been around.
Unbelievably well coached. A guy who's been everywhere and he's done it before. I think that it's not even sneaky anymore. They're going to...
No, it is sneaky because people are like, Santa Clara's in the tournament? Where is Santa Clara? Or they don't know.
They know where it is, and they might know who their point guard was when they made the tournament last time.
Shout out Steve Nash, man.
Yeah, no big deal.
Was that who their point guard... That was when they last made it?
Yeah, and he was drafted in 96.
Oh, my God. Motion is maxed out right now. Holy shit.
And by the way, the videos of him taking over that... I think it was the 96 tournament.
Yeah.
Where he just goes to the free throw line and hits and hits and hits and hits.
You know what matchup I love for them? I'm going to go through a great path for them right now.
Yeah.
They're projected to be an 11 seed right now, which I think makes sense.
I was talking as a 10, by the way.
I'm going to tell you as an 11 seed. They're projected to be an 11 seed. I love their matchup against BYU. No, I love their matchup against BYU.
Yeah.
They would make AJ. They wouldn't really stop AJ, but their athleticism and their size would give them fits. 100% would give them fits. I like the matchup against BYU. And then if they had a 3 seed, they would not get Gonzaga. If they had to go against Purdue, it'd be good size versus good size.
Or Nebraska.
I don't know if I like that one.
Yeah.
But Purdue, I think a lot. I like the Purdue matchup a lot.
Yeah.
So if they had that path to the Sweet 16, Santa Clara can do it.
Buddy.
Santa Clara can do it. It's
three bid WCC, baby. Come on.
Gonna be a 3-bid WCC. I think you can fairly say that. Santa Clara, depending on bid stealers, might fall into the last 4 in, which I would not want. But there's always usually a last 4 in team that wins at least one actual first round game after winning their last 4 in game. It
always just ends up that way.
It always does. All right, let's do one last thing. Syracuse Job opened up.
That's a big one.
So Syracuse has officially parted ways with Red Autry. If you listen to this podcast all year, you could have predicted that to happen because Red Autry was not a good basketball coach / I guess, well, he is.
It didn't work.
I was gonna say is not a good basketball coach. He was not.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. Let's look to the future for Syracuse. Let's look into the future for Syracuse.
Before we hop into names, I have a very quick question for you.
Yes.
Is Syracuse the best job available right now?
So who's available right now? Syracuse,
Providence and Kansas State would be the two.
Providence, Kansas, Syracuse. You sure not Little Rock?
I stand by what I said.
San Diego is filled now, so that was one.
San Diego's filled, and as of about
Just kidding.
20 minutes ago, the Oregon State job is filled
And
as well.
Kansas
Both
State,
by assistants.
Kansas State is rumored to be getting Jared Calhoun.
Yes.
We have heard that,
Okay.
which would feel like Cincy is not opening up. That means, and they know that because he's a Cincy guy.
I would assume that's the case.
Pitt is open too.
Pitt is open.
right?
Yep. We talked about that last time.
Wait,
last
Pitt's
episode.
open, but there's
Oh no, what Pitt was not open last time because
is it officially open?
It's open, or
They're playing today.
or they're firing Capel. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
It's been known that one's opening. So there are now
Syracuse-
4 ACC jobs open.
Syracuse is without a doubt the best job available.
Okay.
I think it is because it's not the same Syracuse as it was in the 2000s and even 2010s and before that, but it does still have resources, investment. It's in a good conference, history and branding, and Carmelo, for better or worse, involved to give you juice to rebuild it very fast. I look at
That's twice, Ryan.
I look at the other. Well, I had to play Bison before. I had to play it out loud. I look at the other jobs available, and I see a much more difficult rebuild. And it might not be a year one rebuild. I mean, everything should be a year one rebuild if the coach is good at this point. But I think Syracuse has way too much potential to not say it's as good as better than the other ones available right now. If Ohio State became available, which it's not going to most likely, or something like that, then we could have a conversation. Then it's probably.
Yeah, I don't think
the
there's
other way
anything
around,
else out there that's even in the same. Ohio State is in the same vein, but that's it.
Well,
I by the way.
what about the ACC SEC rumor?
I mean, you got to say it now.
There's been a Will Wade rumor.
Yeah.
But
okay, but
I
that-
don't know.
but
We
that
don't know
would-
for sure.
But that would be less of. Oh, so you're saying the NC State job, hypothetically?
Interesting, yeah. It's an
Yeah,
interesting one. Maybe NC State.
Okay, so but that aside, which I think I wouldn't be surprised if he jumped.
It's a good job, obviously, Syracuse.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
because the LSU job won't even really open if that happens. It would be like a hey.
No, I'm saying NC
we're
State.
moving on. I do think Syracuse is a good job. I think that they have top 10 basketball history, top 15 basketball history of any program in the country. They have a superstar's name on their facility and backing the program. His son is there right now still. The arena is legendary. It's not the same job as it once was, though. I don't know that Providence is a better job. I do think that financially, like when it comes to portal and NIL, Providence can compete.
With who? Like, what do you mean compete?
Syracuse.
Yeah, with Syracuse, sure.
Like
fine.
from a job perspective, I don't think Providence is.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's that far off either. I thought about it. I just like
Yeah.
put all things together. If everything is equivalent in resources and whatever, okay, and then it's Syracuse, so I'll give them the edge. That's what I'm
Okay.
getting at.
Let me read. We've already said we're a lot of Matt Norlander today. Let me read this tweet from Matt Norlander, which
Fire away.
says, "SU has already done due diligence on candidates. Unclear how fast this search will go. Names already under consideration per sources: Josh Schertz, Brian Hodgson, Luke Murray, Joe Gallo, and 2 Cuse guys, Mike Hopkins and Jerry McNamara, who of course will be coaching Siena in the NCAA tournament." Ryan, I would be shocked if their coach came from outside that list.
It is. Can I add a few names anyway?
Sure.
They had Luke Murray. I actually said Kamani Young. So
Okay.
Kamani Young, Luke Murray, one of the two. Tony Skinn, get a consideration. Phil Martelli, consider him. And James Jones at Yale.
Yeah. I think this is going to be one of 2 guys because you have to call Schertz. Totally with it.
I want Brian Hodgson to be the coach.
I think it's going to be either Brian Hodgson or Jerry McNamara.
I agree because they are right. I think Schertz might stay at SLU.
I think he might too. And then they're going to go to their second option, which is Brian, who's, by the way,
Love.
to call him a second option is so not fair.
Love Brian
He's
Hodgson.
38. By the way,
Dude.
he's from West New York,
And you know what's funny?
which is 2 hours away.
I saw someone say, did not know that.
yeah.
Okay. A job is officially closed.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
I think he's from, I think it's called Olean, New York. Yeah, that's right. Which is closer to Buffalo, but still.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
The thing about Brian Hodgson, I've seen people say like, oh, what? He was at Arkansas State for a year and now, or 2 years, whatever it was, and now was he 1 year or 2 year at Arkansas State?
I don't remember.
I think 1 year.
I'll check.
Go ahead.
2. He was there for 2.
2 years at Arkansas State. Did not get to the tournament either year. and now he's at USF. But he built a wagon at Arkansas State that was really good in the Fun Belt,
Yeah.
and then now USF is the best team in the American, and they might be in the tournament this year. But Brian Hodgson was one of the best assistants you could imagine out there, with Nate Oates at Buffalo when they won a tournament game, with Nate Oates for multiple years at Alabama as they built that program up to the Final Four contender,
Yep.
perennial Final Four contender. When you look at like Kamani Young and Luke Murray are like UConn, I get that. They've been in the waiting for jobs for a while. But when assistants get hired, right? San Diego just hired a young and up and coming Iowa State assistant. One of the Michigan assistants just got hired also,
Oregon
right?
State, yep.
At Oregon State. Like, he is that, but even on a higher pedestal
'Cause he's already
with,
showing success,
with
yeah.
head coaching experience. So it's not crazy to be like, oh, what's he done as a head coach? But what's he done as an assistant also? And as a, like as the second guy or third guy under Nate Oates, like that. Those are the things you have to look at also. And he's Western New York. Love his style. Love his aggression. Did you see what he said about portal stuff? He said any of you coaches that are in my DMs or texting my players about portal now, like, I'm gonna see you face to face.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
I love his attitude. I also love
Terrifying.
that he's effectively my age.
Is he actually? Wow.
He's a year older.
Shit.
Yeah, he's born and raised Western New York. He's from like 2 hours from the Syracuse campus.
I'm in.
Probably part of the reason how he ended up with the Buffalo job, honestly, because it's right smack where he is, where
Makes
he was
sense.
from. I think he would be a grand slam hire.
Me too.
I do think that if it doesn't work out and he gets an extension or he goes somewhere else, I do think they will just pivot to Jerry McNamara. I think making the tournament matters, and he just did that. He just won a conference, which you believe you have to check that box. Like, you don't think Joe Gallo is ready for this job yet because he hasn't won a conference tournament.
Neither is Hodgson in that sense.
Okay.
I think that it is situational because like I mentioned about Hodgson, where like you don't need that experience when you come from multiple years of being an elite assistant at a great program and an innovative, younger, analytical thinking coach. But I do think that having some kind of postseason success just for 1 year to prove that you can do that to get to the next level makes sense. That being said, Joe Gallo is doing it at Merrimack right now.
Yeah.
And Brian Hodgson, the Sun Belt is better than the MAC.
Okay.
And the American is better than both those.
Okay.
So
So
he's doing it at a high level, at a higher level.
I'm not discrediting the Brian Hodgson thing. My point
No,
was,
I know.
I think McNamara now checks an extra box
That Joe Gallo
outside
doesn't.
Outside of, oh, by the way, he's Jerry McNamara and he has
Syracuse, obviously.
really good ties to Syracuse.
And whether he is or isn't a better coach than Joe Gallo, I'm not really sure I can make a
Sure.
distinctful decision that way anyway. But whether he is or isn't, he won and he has won the MAC. I don't think Joe Gallo has yet, right?
that's correct.
So
Won the regular season, Mac.
yeah, no, you have to win the postseason.
I think that of the list that Norlander shared, and I realize that Mello is advocating for this guy, Mike Hopkins would be a disaster.
Wait, that's who Melo wants?
Yeah.
Literal disaster.
Yeah.
That's my bet who they're gonna hire.
I don't think so.
Just because you said
They also don't have
terrible.
they also don't have an AD right now.
Ooh.
They are supposed to have one by the end of this week. So
Interesting.
the new AD will have a very important hire to make at a very
It's the most.
historical basketball
You could argue the most
program.
important hire in the history of the school.
Sure, why not?
Academics, athletics, anything.
Yeah, I mean, did you saw that stadium on senior night? There was nobody there.
Sad.
Yeah. Really important hire for them. There are 4 ACC jobs open right now.
Syracuse,
Pitt, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Boston College. And potentially a 5th if the Will Wade rumors have some smoke.
Wow, that's a lot of turnover for a league that had a lot of turnover last year.
Yeah.
But we thought NC State was taking a turn for the better. I mean, the program has improved, but not to the levels they want to in year one. But if he stayed, that'd be great for the ACC because then they have UVA, NC State back on the ups. Steve Forbes is staying at Wake, they said,
Saw that.
which, I mean, next year's
Seat's nice and toasty by the time he gets ready in September.
might be might be boiling. I might not be able to sit down. It's so hot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Nonetheless, we'll see what happens. Who's your bet to who gets the job?
I think Hodgson gets the job.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I don't know. It's not actually Mike Hopkins. That'd be hilarious, though.
I'm just I don't know if Carmelo was like actively campaigning for it, but all of the
The Carmelo Anthony basketball facility is now called something else.
is it?
It's
I was there last year and it was called the Carmelo Anthony basketball practice
No.
facility.
they put another name on it for a donor.
Oh, okay.
I gotta
didn't know
find
that.
the name of it. Shit, it's something called something else.
The facility is still called the Carmelo K. Anthony Basketball Center.
Yeah, but it's got.
But maybe the
something else.
court within it is now something else.
No, on the outside.
Oh, Lally.
I don't know.
That's the whole athletic complex, though. Come see me. I got my master's at Syracuse, man.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Lally.
I just said that.
Yeah. So now,
that's different.
I know. No, but it said Carmelo Anthony Basketball Center in massive letters.
Yeah.
And now it says John A. Lally Athletic Complex, and then in really small letters, Carmelo Anthony Basketball Center.
When a richer guy trumps a rich guy, that's just how it works these days. I really don't.
I guess so. It's not for me to. Yeah.
I've just to be clear, I've seen their new football facility, which I think is also Lally, and it's outrageous.
Probably nice.
Yeah.
Not as good as Florida's when I saw that.
Probably not.
It was insane.
Same colors though.
More blue in Florida.
Yeah. Really, really important hire for Syracuse. I think it's going to be.
We all
Hodgson.
want Syracuse to
You
be
also
good.
think it's going to be Hodgson?
I think it's going to be Jerry McNamara.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
my guess.
Okay.
So we'll see.
I would be surprised if it's not one of those two guys.
Yeah, me too. Unless Josh Schertz has a change of heart.
Yeah.
Which I don't. That's not intel. I don't. I'm just saying, unless he has a change of heart, because I don't think he is going to take it.
I don't think he is.
He has not told me personally whether he would or wouldn't. I don't talk to him about that.
Yeah.
I don't do that scoop shit, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, okay.
People ask me, what do you know about this guy? Brother, I know that he's trying to win an A-10 tournament right now.
yeah.
That's what I know. So
He's focused in the Lou.
in the
Well, actually, they're not in the Lou
they're
right
not.
now.
Well, oh no, Arch Madness was there.
Yeah, no, they're not even close to in
The
Lou.
tournament might be in the
They're
Lou.
in Pittsburgh.
All right, that's gonna do it for today's episode, midweek episode. We'll be back next time. Next episode will be post-selection Sunday with a bracket.
Ryan, the next time I see you, we'll be getting ready to draw some brackets.
That's me slurping.
Come on.
Let's go, baby. Appreciate you guys for tapping in, listening, and watching. We'll be back on Sunday night episode. We'll drop on Sunday night, not Monday morning. So we'll see you then.